Hi, Bishop. What's
What's
up?
up,
How are
baby
you doing?
Stace?
How you doing?
Chilling, you know what I'm saying? Like, got me a little drinky drink.
Oh, what are you sipping on?
It's like soda in like Long Island. You know how if you go to Bevmo, they have like a Long Island that's already made.
Right.
So I had that, and then I had like this soda that I really didn't want because I bought, a meal yesterday and like a burger and fries, and it the meal comes with the soda. I was like, oh, okay, let me get like a punch, but they put soda in like carbonated water in the punch. And I was like, let me put some of this Long Island in here because I was almost done. So I was like, let me put this in here, see what it tastes like, and it tastes pretty good. So
You're not playing any games with that Long Island. See, I'm a simple girl.
what does that mean? You just got vodka and milk.
Nope. It's gin on the rocks with a little splash of lemon.
Yeah.
I wish I had lime. Lime would have been better, but lemon works, for the purpose. But as you get older, can you drink as much? Like, or like, have you always like been good with alcohol? Are you a lightweight? Do you tolerate drinking? What have you
I
noticed
don't,
any changes?
I don't think I'm a lightweight. I think I'm an average dude. But I think lately, like the past times I've gotten drunk, um, I will say that I never had a hangover. I don't have hangers. I don't have hangovers anymore. But my tolerance, my body tolerance for it is kind of the same. I think it's the same. I
Really?
think maybe it's a tad bit because, but I think since I've been out here and the way I've been drinking, it's just been like trying new things, and then I'll meet new people or whatever, and they'll want to buy me a drink. So yeah, of course I'm gonna get hammered if I have like 5 or 6 shots, or
Right.
try something and like or try some new like Jack Daniels brand or something. You know what I mean? Or
Yeah.
because people out here, they when you're cool with them, then they want to buy you drinks and shit. So I
Yeah.
think I've been drinking excessively when I do, but when I do the next morning, I've never had a hangover.
Really? That's
Yeah,
interesting.
I
That's
think
very
in my 20s and 30s, if it was the same situation, I would have had a hangover. Like my 30th birthday, like when I was drinking, like I had a hangover. That was, I mean, an average hangover, but like now I don't have any. The last time I got drunk, which was like last month, like, and I passed out. Not last month, maybe 2 months ago, and I passed out on my couch, woke up, and I was fine.
wow. No, that's really interesting because I feel like as I age and as I get older, but I've always been a lightweight. Let me start there. I've always been a
Wow, I
lightweight.
didn't know that.
Yeah, when it comes to alcohol, I may drink like one or two, maybe three when I was younger, three like hard drinks and then maybe a beer.
Okay, so if I want to get Stacy, what does it take? What do I need to buy her to get Party Stacy?
Currently,
We in the
um,
club. We in the club. You feeling it? Maybe they're playing some trap. You know what I'm saying? You in there. What do I need to buy Stacy to get
or
her
they can
party?
play Ari Lennox. I don't
Or
always
on your
need trap.
lands,
Or Drake.
what?
I don't always need trap.
Oh yeah, okay.
But I would,
Fucking
I
drink.
in my old age, I would, well, 40. I'm it's my holiday eve. It's my birthday tomorrow.
It's birthday eve for baby
Yes.
Stace. Well, we
So
gotta give the date. You gotta give the date. September.
tomorrow is September
No, but
18th.
today
Today,
is.
today is September 17th, my
Uh-huh.
birthday eve.
Okay.
So, I mean, like right now, I think my drink of choice is gin and tonic. Hendrix gin and tonic.
To get the party started,
Yeah, yeah. Or
or
just
get the
gin
the whole
on the
the whole
ice.
night.
Yeah, like I'll be straight. Cause like now, like as I'm aging, I mean, I don't want all this shit, but actually I cut out a lot of that stuff before I got to this age. But for me to not feel like laggy tomorrow, gin is always my drink of choice. Or the 1800 Cuervo, that one is pretty good. The silver, that one's
Mm.
that one has me right. That one has me right. Like I'll have fun, but I won't get too messed up the next day. Because that's the thing. Like I don't want to feel bad because I have to be productive in my days. So, you know.
I hear you, but once in a while isn't too bad. It's not like
Yeah.
I get drunk every weekend. I could easily do that, but it's not. Yeah, like you said, it's not productive.
Yeah.
You
Because
want to be
actually,
productive.
yeah, because this is my actual like first drink in a long time. Maybe like in a month. I don't drink that often. So, everything in moderation for me at this point in my life.
Yeah, I don't. I think I'm the same way too. I had a bottle of Long Island that lasted me like 6 months.
Like seriously, for real. Like,
Yeah,
like I don't know. So it's just kind of interesting how I don't know, you learn what you can tolerate and what you like, what you don't like as you age. And that kind of, leads us into what we're going to discuss tonight is aging gracefully. And we are both in our 40s.
hmm
And I feel great.
yeah, I feel good. Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like people, like when I don't know, when you're like a child or younger, you have your whole life planned out. You're like,
a
okay,
child or younger, you have your life
well,
planned out.
yeah, like listen, well, at least women do. We're like, okay, 18, we're gonna graduate from high
That's
school.
not a child.
Okay, well, young adults.
Oh, Jesus Christ, you're like 6 years old. When I get older, I want to run a business and have
Well,
roll
I
that
know
radio
in
and
high
have a
school,
podcast.
seriously, in high school, I had all that planned out. Like
Yeah, but that's not a child. I thought you said child, so I'm thinking like elementary, kindergarten. But
yeah,
go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
yeah, no.
You
So,
mean young adult, teenager?
yeah, like you're
Yeah,
18, you're gonna graduate and then you're gonna go to school, graduate college about 25,
sure, yeah.
find the love of your life at 28, get
hmm
married,
Kids
travel.
by 30.
Yep,
Oh, you
have
oh
kids
oh
by
you
30.
traveling? You traveling?
Yeah, no, we're traveling for a
You
while. And
traveling?
then you have kids around 30. And then I don't know. I never really thought about 40. Like, did you think about 40 when you were younger? Like, I never came to arrived to what would be happening at 40.
Nah, my deadline was 30.
Mm-hmm.
No, you're right. Like I mean, even when I was 20, I remember going to studios and stuff, and I met this tall white dude or whatever, and he was like in his late 20s, almost 30, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm going back to college." And to me, I'm like, man, I can't fathom going back to college, and I'm in my like 20. I'm 20 years old, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, man, I can't think about if being 30 and going back to college. That's crazy. But now I'm like in my 40s. I might go back to college. You know what I mean? I'm
Yeah,
like,
no. I was thinking that the other day. I was like, I'm gonna go back and get my master's maybe since
yeah,
like in
I
a
might go back.
pandemic.
Yeah, get my bachelor's. Yeah,
Like, why not? Actually I should have did it last year and that 2 years would have flew by, you know, since we had to be
yeah,
stuck in the house for most of the
I
year.
know, right? Like I was gonna do go back for coding. Um, I don't know, I know but obviously I mean I didn't, but I should have. But
What
I
did
was
you
just thinking about the money. But go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was like, I don't want any more loans.
Yeah, I mean I'm still paying on my other loan.
Seriously. What did you get your first degree in?
Excuse me. My associates of science was in multimedia.
Very
Yeah.
cool. Well, because you're an awesome graphic artist and
Well, I
illustrator.
went to ITT, which is now defunct because they're scammers. But I went to ITT for information technology, and I would be in class and I look through the window and I see the kids, other students like in the hallway shooting film or shooting a short movie or something and having fun in the hallway. I'm like, what am I doing in here? Like, I don't want to do that. I want to do that. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm more of a creative guy. You know what I mean? I was just into like dissecting computers though. I switched my major and I went to multimedia, and I learned the hard way then that not then, but even while getting my information technology degree, the ITT sucks. So I finished, and I finished my associates of science, and then that was it. I was like, man, I'm not doing another like 2 years of this, because
Interesting.
they suck. It's a horrible school. And then just like 2 years ago, they shut all their campuses down because they suck and they're frauds.
Really? I didn't know that. I remember ITT had a good run,
They
you
had a
know.
great run, because and then people. What's funny is like people would graduate and still not be able to get jobs because the jobs would every job, technical job, you had to take a test after the interview, and they would always not pass. So everybody I met who went to ITT said they never got the job that they went to school for, except for maybe like one guy in drafting. And then he had to take courses over again because he didn't learn what he needed to learn
Mhm.
from that,
Well, I think that's
school.
with any school. Like if you go to a vocational school, an online school, or even just, a state university or college, whatever, like I don't think not many people work in their degree, So
No, yeah, you're right. I mean, I know people who went to law school and they're not lawyers,
yeah, exactly. Like I know a
but
lot of people.
I don't know a lot of doctors who aren't doctors
Yeah, like you don't go
though.
through that whole program.
Yeah,
Like
you.
even lawyers. Well, no, lawyers can be kind of different because if you don't pass the bar, if you're not even trying to be like a practicing lawyer,
Yeah,
then there's a lot of other routes you can go. So I kind of get that. But yeah, if you put all that time in being a
yeah,
doctor, going through residency and medical school, like you better be a doctor.
yeah. They're usually all doctors.
Exactly. So I don't know, but like 20s 20s were cool. What do you think about how were your 20s? Like 20s was a
20,
lot of like partying and like finding yourself, I feel like.
my 20s was thugged out, lots of drugs and alcohol and with JJ.
Ooh,
It was it was great. I
yeah,
found myself at 20.
no, 20s were really, really late. I would say I found like I started coming into an understanding of who I am around 28. I feel like that's late, but it might be kind of average
But what do you mean by that what do you mean by that?
when you find yourself.
Yeah, what do you mean by that?
Like you just kind of stand in your convictions and like know your morals and your beliefs and like you just know how to stand on your own 2 feet with who you want to be in this world. Like I
Oh,
feel like,
that's like early 20s for me. Then I was good.
you know,
Yeah.
and so I don't know. So like yeah, the 20s were cool. It was a lot of relationships and you just kind of are out there floating around figuring life out. And then 30s, you start things kind of get a little bit more serious. But not really, because like things are different from our parents' generation if you think about it. Like 30, like by the time our parents' generation was like in their 30s, they were already married, kids, all that. Like I feel like
Yeah, they took life serious.
or
They had
something.
jobs and you know, what do you call it, school fund for the kids, and had one or two kids, and had a house, and housewife or whatever. You know what I mean? Like the
Yeah.
whole
Well,
nuclear family thing.
yeah, and the cost of living was a lot more reasonable then, because like my parents, they bought their first house for like $28,000 or something crazy like that
Yeah, but
in the
like,
Bay Area.
oh wow, wow.
Yeah, exactly.
But but now every decade it's going to get worse because technology gets better for worse, and then the population is increasing too. Unless we get more viruses, then the planet will take care of the population control. But other than that, like the more people we have on the planet, the worse it's going to get. But the technology comes, and it's always going to backfire on us, right? So There's some things that we're gonna have that's gonna be cool, and other things that are gonna be like, why do they make this? Like the virus. But anyway, but anyway,
Not like the virus. That's funny.
the
Yeah,
virus is human made.
maybe. We don't know exactly, but it's possible. There's a lot of evidence for that. But so, okay, so 30s. 30s is kind of like, what were you saying?
30,
I don't
you
know.
say like back in the day, our parents was serious, but then our generation was
Yeah, it was
not
like,
too serious.
yeah, it was kind of, I feel like a continuation of the 20s. Some people chose to get married and
Some people had kids
babies.
out of wedlock, no, single parent mamas and papas.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
there was a lot of that. But for me, I was really just like working and just trying to establish a career. I think 30s, you kind of try to establish yourself professionally, or you go the family route.
yeah. I think in your 20s, unless you're like doing sports or like you have no distractions or you don't have any plans to be, you don't have any creative, what do you call it? Creative like ambition. School or college or universities is perfect, right? But if you're like, in a band or trying to do something creative or even like arts or something or try to start your own business, just in doing it without having any education, school is, I don't think you want to go to school because you'll be distracted. Like even like for instance, me, I went to school, but it's like I went to community college and instead of doing two, I did four because why? There's like too many girls, too much, home hanging out with the homeboys, like always every weekend I went out. You know what I'm saying? And school was like almost like a waste of money. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah, I didn't really take school
Not
serious
at all.
until like my, I don't know, technically my second year. And it was such a waste of money. Like I would, if I were to do it again, I would probably definitely go to unless I had scholarships, but I would go to a JC for the first 2 years to get my general ed out the way, and then, transfer to a state or university.
Yeah.
If I,
That was the plan for me, but never it never happened.
yeah, it's hard. Like friends are huge distractions. And I think like in your 20s and 20s more so, you get caught up, you can get caught up in a lot of stuff that are distractions
Yeah.
that will like have you off of your life path.
It's
And
funny. Okay, finish.
no,
Sorry.
no, no, that's all I was really gonna say. You know what I mean?
I was gonna
And
say like if you're a nerd, that's perfect. Like you'll fall in line really, really quick. Um, but I don't know. No, I take that back because you know what? My sister was not a nerd, but she was very scholastic. She went to university right out of high school. And she did her thing and she graduated on time. Then she didn't have any distractions real. I mean, she partied, had made new friends, and was ever able to join a sorority. She did everything right. You know what I'm saying? And without any distractions. As opposed to me, like I had too many distractions. I had music, my friends and girls. Like it was just so much.
yeah,
So
it's
maybe I don't know, maybe it's a male thing. Like, well, I had options. So I had options and opportunity that had nothing to do with school. So I took advantage of those.
yeah. And I don't know. I think like people who have more of a social life or who are like more popular, like when they were in high school and stuff, um, they're, I don't know, like
You just
looking
continue
back
the
on them,
party.
yeah, they're not really as successful today as some of the people that you went to school with that were like straight up
I
school.
I agree with that because I'm not really successful, but and I in my like going from to high school to community college, and community college is kind of like a second high school because most of the people that you saw in high school is it was at your community college. So
Mhm.
the party started and stopped at your senior year and then started over again in community college.
Right.
So
Yeah.
that, and then with community college, it becomes the nucleus of other high schools. So you're meeting more new young people who you never met before from in your town. So that's like more, or a buffet of more chicks in my case. And it's just like crazy. And you don't, I can't go to class if this girl's already out and I'm trying to mac on this girl. Like, I don't go to class. I try to mac on the girl. I do mac on the girl and I get it. We go, we go hang out.
Oh, I just at this point, like looking back on everything, relationships are distractions. Like I will have to say that.
I
Relationships,
don't,
they
what do you
are,
mean?
they
Going to
are.
school?
I mean, if you have goals, unless you have somebody that's in your corner that encourages
Well,
you,
yeah, that's why you
that
have a
helps
relationship.
you, that supports you.
Of course.
I
Why would
mean,
you be in a relationship with somebody who doesn't do that?
well, a lot of people are in relationships for the
Well,
wrong
they need to
reason.
get out then.
But that's a whole
Get the
other
fuck
story.
out. Get out.
Right.
Is that movie?
But people get caught up.
Jordan said, "Get out."
People get caught
Caught
up.
up in what? Titties and dick.
Yeah.
What is holding you back? Drop them. Drop it. You know what I mean? RoboCop.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm just thinking of on different situations. Like, I don't know. I just know there's a lot of women that have all these dreams and ambitions and goals, and then they meet a man and he's like, I won't say ruins their life, but he basically, wipes her or, wants to start a family, and then women have to, start their family, and they kind of put their career on the back burner or their hobby on the back burner or their passions on the back burner. And there's nothing wrong with that, but I don't know. I'm
I
just
know,
saying,
but you
like, I feel like my experience is different,
okay.
has been different. My experience in life has been different for sure. Because
Okay,
like
so
my family and like my babies are like really not radio and all the like different endeavors that I've explored,
so
those
your
like
advice to a young 21-year-old girl, or actually no, a young 18-year-old who just graduated from high school, what's your advice for her?
I would say definitely don't worry about your friends. Do what you want to do.
But TLC, what about your friends?
What about them? That's what they should have said. Like I tell my niece all the time, like, because even she's in what, 6th grade now, and starting off in like her 3rd, 5th grade. Like, I mean, even when I was in 5th grade and 3rd grade, like friends, they say a
Come
lot
and
of
go.
yeah, and they say a lot of crazy stuff, and they cause a lot of problems, and they hurt your feelings, and you just,
What kind of friends you got?
man, let me
You got
tell
some
you.
mean ass friends.
I have my testimony is crazy. Like I have great friends. I have great friends. I have friends that I've known since 3rd grade.
You got great friends who put you down.
Yeah,
Those are great friends.
I would say so. They'll
No,
probably,
I would
I
not.
mean,
I would not say so.
I know. It's like, are you friends? Like, I don't know.
No, that makes no sense.
But I don't know. People are weird. Like, and I think that's when you get 40s, in your 40s, you start to look back on all this stuff and you realize that some of these people aren't really friends. Like what I consider a friend is lacking. Like a lot of people who want to be considered friends, it's lacking. And I don't know if it's just because when you get in your 30s and your 40s, you have other obligations like husbands, wives, children, whatever. You don't, it's different. It's just totally different with somebody who's single and has no children, you know?
Well, yeah, because you have more time. You don't have like
In fact,
like
I don't have
human responsibilities.
yeah, no, you're right. And I always say that too. Like, with my friends, they, like I always say like, dang, like I couldn't even imagine doing all the stuff that I do and having children on top of that. Like, there's no way I would be able to do or pursue anything that I'm doing right now. There's no way. Unless I was just
Yeah,
dedicated 2 hours a day every
yeah,
night. After you work, after you get your kids to school, after you help them with homework, after
yeah.
you're tired and you're not gonna, it's very hard to pursue your passion.
But here's the thing, though. Here's the thing, though. People are doing it. Women are doing it every day. They're doing it every day. They're running their own business. They got 2 kids. Then maybe they single or have, a husband, or, still have, they're dating or have a boyfriend, but they're doing it. And I think you would be able to do it too. I think
Yeah,
the way
no,
you
it's time
are, I
management.
think I think
Yeah.
you would, because you would have to, and you would endure and you would do it. So
Yeah, I would make time, like for sure.
yeah,
Like you make time for somebody that you
of
love,
course.
but I don't have that. I don't have that
I know,
problem.
but I know now, but I'm saying you would.
Yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah.
if you had a kid, we still be doing this. That's what I'm saying.
I would hope so because
Like
I can't
you would still be doing you. And you know what's funny? Like you probably be doing more because you're going to be motivated by the kid, because you want to do right by the kid. You want to be a good example for him or her. He or she inspires you to make more money because you want to pay for. You want him to, play soccer, or you want her to play soccer. You know what I'm saying? So it would probably motivate you more. You know what I
yeah,
mean? You probably be further than you were now.
right.
You know what I mean? Because you have somebody who's looking up to you and, leaning on you, depending on you.
You have mouths to feed and you stay motivated.
Yep.
I'm highly self-motivated, but I don't know. I don't know. I can't really speak on that, but because I
I
don't have
think. Oh well. Okay. Me looking on the outside, knowing you for a decade now, more than a decade. Like I think you would be. I think
I
you'd be fine.
I
I think
figured
we'd be
out.
right. I think you'd be right here. We'd be right here.
Yeah, I don't know.
You'd be all right.
I'd probably incorporate them into like a podcast or a
Yeah,
show.
you probably have your own little kid podcast. You and your little son or daughter podcast,
For
and then
real.
we still be doing this podcast. And
That's
you
like
know
a
what I'm saying? Like you'd be
yeah,
all over the place.
yeah. I don't know, but I don't know. I can't really speak on that, but
The only
it was
reason why I say that is because I have a friend. Am I allowed? Um, I have a friend who, he stopped doing a music career to go into business with his wife. And I think his inspiration, well, one, I think he stopped doing music because she probably said some stuff and was like, you're not going to go anywhere. This is more feasible, makes more sense going into business, blah, blah, blah. And then two, he has kids, so it motivated him to go in hard. And he has that personality where, the job that he's doing now, the business that he's in now, fits his personality. You know what
mhm,
I'm saying? So I won't say he's thriving, but he's doing okay. And he also has a partner. You know what I'm
mhm,
saying? And they motivate each other. And also motivation is kids, because you want to take care of your kids and you want to set a good example, and you want to, set a precedence of like, how to take care of your family and make money. And his kids are watching him do that, and it's like it must be a dope
win-win.
feeling.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
No,
it's a
that
win-win. Yeah.
yeah, that's totally a win-win. That's
Yeah. So I mean, so he stopped doing one thing, but started and is still doing another, which
well,
and
yeah,
he's
and I think
his own business.
yeah, and I think that's what happens in like the 30s and 40s. Like you try out a lot of stuff, but then you fail at some things, or you give
Well,
up.
20s and 30s, you do.
Yeah, or you go into like with him, he went to another direction. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know. Like I always say, everything has its purpose. Nothing is in vain. And I think everything that we encounter or do or try in life is leading us to the next thing if we look at it that way. Or if say you fail at something, then you'll learn and how to do it better, or you'll learn how to do it a different way. And I think that happens like in your 30s. You really kind of like solidify what direction you're going into. you know?
Yeah.
Like
So yes.
the
Uh,
30s are interesting. The 30s are interesting too, you know?
okay.
And we're just starting the 40s. And I don't really know. I mean, I think, I don't know. I thought I have learned all that I could learn, but I still feel like a newbie and I still have like fire and like a passion. But I definitely have a lot more wisdom in how to like pursue and how to go about things and kind of like pace things and just take it easy and kind of go with the flow and have a balance, but also pursue everything I want to pursue. Um, so I don't know. The 40s are going to be really cool. The 40s are great. Like I completed one, I'm 40, I'll be 41 tomorrow and you'll be 40, 44
Uh-huh.
in December,
Oh, I'll be
right?
45 in December.
You'll be 45 in December. So it's like, I don't know, like the 40s are awesome. Like the 40s rock. The 40s, I feel like I'm strong and I'm ready. I'm ready for whatever. Mentally, spiritually, physically, I know how to take care of myself now. Like I was listening to something the other day. It was like somebody was talking about this well, not a young kid, a young adult they were like thinking the end of the world was at 25. And they start calling people aunties and stuff at 25. And I'm like, you guys are babies. You guys haven't even scratched the surface on life or lived or anything. And I don't know. So it's like, but now that I'm at 40 at a place that I never thought I would ever imagine being at, it's great. 40s is cool. I feel alive. I mean, things kind of changed up. You're like just how we were talking about drinking and stuff. Like I've noticed like physical changes, but that's where you kind of like step up and do more to maintain. And you know what? I was thinking about our last conversation, how men want a woman to look good and not look like a caterpillar. And
Yeah.
before I was kind of like thinking like, dude, that's a little harsh. Or men, they shouldn't just want a trophy wife. But me, where I'm at today, I want to look good for me. You know what I'm saying? And so like it's not far-fetched or it's not a bad thing to want to look good and
Right.
to maintain for yourself and for your man, And I think when you're in your 40s, you're either just let it all go or you're trying to get it all back if you haven't maintained it, you know?
I just think like a lot of
And there's
women when they, huh?
no, go ahead, go ahead.
Oh, I think a lot of women when they get older, they get kids or no kids. You get lazy, you get it, or you get a career and you get lazy, and both sides, guys too, get lazy and you don't, you're not playing basketball anymore, or you're not running, you're not jogging, you're not swimming, you're not doing anything.
Yeah, and it's
And
like,
you
why
get
give up? Like you're
and you
40.
get
Like
because the careers. So what I'm saying is like, you know, like a lot of like older guys, that's why they date younger women because they're fit. I remember I was dating this younger chick and she was telling me how one of her friends was dating some old guy and he kept like touching her body and she was like, you know, complaining to her about how this older guy was like always touching her and hella, just intimate. And I was like, yeah, I see him doing that because his age group, he doesn't like those doughy bodies. He likes her body. He likes the fact that he can touch her ribs and maybe she has like a flat stomach and whatever and a waist. Like he's gonna take advantage of this opportunity that he has right now until she finds the Chris Hemsworth or something. But until then, like he's gonna be touching on her because they are intimate. They do have sex. So I was just telling but I think she was just like fishing. I think she was just complaining just to complain because I think she liked him. She really liked him too. and she was just making up excuses to like, hate him or not like him or whatever. But she liked him.
That sounds.
So I mean, that's why more guys, like even in my age, like my last girlfriend was 10 years younger than me, and she was really fit, and it's like it's great. You know what I'm saying? We didn't want to date
Yeah.
like caterpillar bodies. So it's
Right.
like, but it's possible for women our age and older to be fit because I've seen it. I see
Oh
it every
yeah.
day. I work in Glendale. I see fit 50-year-olds every day. You know
Hello,
what I'm
my
saying?
aunt is 70 and she looks great and she goes to Pilates every week,
Yes.
like
My
multiple
yes,
times
my
a week.
sister's class that was taught by a 50-year-old. And
Yeah.
she's this old, I'm
Yeah.
sorry, she's a 50-year-old black lady and she got muscles like Angela Bassett. I mean,
Yeah.
she's
Yeah.
amazing. So
No,
it's
and
like it's possible. It's like
yeah,
where's the mentality of the other women? Like what is holding them back? They have all their kids are grown. There's no, they could change their diet. There's no really excuse. You know what I'm saying? They nobody in
well,
our
I
age
don't think,
group or 50 has like a baby.
yeah,
You know
well,
what I mean?
yeah, but I think when people get our age, they kind of that you either are on it or you're not. And I think a lot and want to get back on that, but it's hard. It's hard to jump.
How?
It's hard. When you have kids, it's a
What
different.
kid? They're in high school. They're old. They you could when they're
But
in
then
their
you
room
get
studying, you
comfortable.
could
But
be in the
it comes
back
down to the
doing
person.
exercise.
Yeah, but then it comes down to the person
That's what
because
I'm saying. They don't
people get
have they don't
comfortable.
have it.
Yeah. So I mean,
They have to have it. Well, actually I'll say this. They don't really want it. So when they're complaining, they're just
they
complaining
want
to the
it, but they
mirror.
don't know how to put the action behind it. Because like you could talk about something all day
Yeah.
long, but if you don't put action behind it, if you don't execute that idea, that thought, it's
It's
nothing.
just lazy. It's just lazy. It's like
And that's a real
if you
thing.
don't if you don't want yeah, it's a real thing. If you don't want to eat certain foods, don't buy them. Oh, but my kids like cookies. Okay, well, get different kind of cookies or tell them to like buy their own cookies and have it in their room so you don't have to see it. So you
But
won't
then
have
again,
cravings.
I think a lot of people don't even know the right or wrong things to eat, to be honest. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Let's say this, the middle class people basically have benefits, right? So you talk to a nutritionist, right? You want to lose weight. You really care, you want to lose weight. Okay, first things first, stop going to fast food. Secondly, make time to prep food on Sundays, right, for the rest of the week. If you're a normal, regular 9 to 5er, right, you do that, and then you exercise. You walk after work. You maybe do a little jog, go up a hill, do light weights. Time progresses. There's a story where this woman lost like 100 pounds in a year because she walked every day. She fast walked. She
yeah.
walked in the morning, during break time at her job, and then after she got home, she walked again. You know what I'm saying? And then you know what I hate too? Not too, but I hate when women say, and it's mostly women, I need to find a partner so I can work out.
Well, that just comes down to a motivation thing. Like people need extra
You
motivation.
don't look in the mirror and be like, oh, that should be motivation right there. That right here, it's right looking at you right here in the mirror.
Yeah, but sometimes when you look in the mirror, you don't see what other people see. You know what I'm
Nah,
saying?
I,
Because
I hate I hate that excuse so much.
no,
It's
but it's
bullshit.
true. Because
It's
like
bullshit though.
I looked in the mirror for like every time I look in the mirror, I'm like, dang, I look good. But it didn't dawn on me that I needed to lose weight. Because I love myself at every level. But now that just for me, it's more about being healthy and being able to perform and and look good at the same time. So
Yeah, I mean, because
so
you know
you
what I mean. You don't even have to like. I'm not saying you, but in general, like women don't even have to like strive for the ab. I'm not saying like go be a gym rat and have muscles and all that shit. I'm talking about be your average weight at your height. Your heart's pumping healthy. Bones aren't aching, muscles aren't aching. You know what I'm saying? Because
and but
you're
a lot of
taking
that,
care of yourself, your diet, you're
yeah.
active every day. You know what I'm saying? You're watching what you're eating, your calories and your carbs. You know what I'm saying? Because we're getting older. We need pay more attention to that.
Yes,
And
exactly.
it's very easy.
Yeah, especially at this age, because 40s and 50s, people are starting to have heart attacks and all kinds of other elements.
Strokes,
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, for me, it's all about,
diabetes.
yeah, it's all about health. Like, we have to be healthy. Like, and what I'm finding,
As I
you
drink this soda.
right, and me drinking this alcohol, which is terrible for you, but it's my birthday. It's a holiday eve, so it's okay. Like, I really don't drink like that, but like, alcohol is all sugar and toxins, so it's definitely
And
not,
carbs.
yeah,
Yep.
it's definitely not good for you.
Anyway,
But so you, as you get older, you just have to change things and manipulate.
that part. Yep.
But you know what though? Like, I'm thinking about this. Like, you for me, like, you can work out all day long, CrossFit, whatever. But if your diet is off, then you're not gonna be healthy. You're not gonna
I
lose
know, but
weight.
you're not going to be doing all that every day, all day if your diet is bad, because it's not going to
Yeah, you
give
can't
you
even
that
perform.
boost.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. Like,
exactly. There, you're not going to perform.
yeah,
And even if you do, if you say you do yoga every day and you say you do CrossFit and Pilates or whatever, you probably do it for like 2 or 3 minutes, or you're that person that goes to class for like, you go to class, you sit in there for 3 minutes, you do a move, and then you can't do anymore, and you still stay in the class, and then you go home and everybody goes home. But to you in your mind, you're like, oh well, I do Pilates. Bitch,
right.
you went in the class, yeah, but you did one move and it couldn't do anymore
Yeah, that's not
because
gonna
you
work.
had the McDonald's cheeseburger earlier.
Yeah, because
And to
that's
you, you're psyching yourself out, and then you go home and say to yourself, as you're eating a piece of fried chicken, oh well, I did go to Pilates today.
yeah, it's all
You know what I
about
mean?
diet.
It's
Yeah, it's all about diet. Like, working out is
so much
irrelevant.
denial.
Yeah, working out is pointless if your diet isn't right, to be honest. So I don't know. That could be a whole other segment. We could definitely get into and break it down. But I don't know. I guess what the point of this episode is, I just want people to know that there's a lot of life after 40. Like, I feel like life is starting again, or I don't know. It's just exciting. Like,
I mean, I
I
don't.
don't, like, I have it together. Like, I feel like I'm solid and I understand people. I understand myself. Um, I know what I tolerate. I know what I don't tolerate. And like, life is pretty lit right now.
I think when you turn 40, you learn from your mistakes and triumphs at high school 20 to 30s, and then you use that uh, to keep going to your 50s, 60s, and 70s. I mean, you never quit learning as you grow. So that's one thing people need to understand. Like, just because you have more, just because you're like 40 and you're like involved, or you're talking to like a 30 or 20-year-old, don't mean you can't learn from the 30 or 20-year-old. You know what I
No,
mean? Because everybody has their own path. They learn their own thing. They do their own thing. Like, don't be that guy or gal who's like, oh, well, I've experienced blah, blah, blah. And I also want to say, too, to the women saying, it's rude to ask your age. No, it's not. It's not rude. It's just you have an insecurity because you're not comfortable where you at 50, 40, or 60
well,
years old. That's why you don't want to
or
answer that question.
yeah,
It's rude to ask. I hate
but
that. I remember one time I was in a parking lot and I saw this black lady, and I was like, man, this black lady looks good. I know she's not like 20. I know she's not 30, but she has to be 40, 50 years old. And I asked her, I said, man, I have to know that, Miss, how old are you? And she's like, you're not supposed to ask an older woman that question. And I was like, oh. And I was kind of like disgusted. I was like, bitch, I was going to give you a compliment, but well, fuck you. Well, shit. Just because you're not where you want to be and you have an insecurity that you wish your life went in a certain way, so you don't want to divulge how old you are because you fucked up somewhere. Man, get the fuck out of here. Because women I know who are proud of where they are proud to say that they are 50, 60 years old.
Yeah.
And that's 100%.
Yeah, no, it's true. But I think I think that's some kind of insecurities because
I said that.
Society makes you not want to divulge your age. Like I
I hate
said,
it.
like these kids or young adults were saying, 25 was old, or people have a hard time saying their 30s. Or
you didn't say that when you were 25. You didn't say, "Wow, 40 is old." I can't. You didn't even said. I couldn't even imagine looking past 30.
Yeah, I never even.
Yeah, so I mean, it's the same thing. Like we have to have.
But
to know that we were there. We were there at their age. They weren't there at our age. You know what I'm saying? So we have to understand where they're coming from because we were there at one time. So bypass that shit. We know how they're gonna be.
Now that I'm here, I'm like, it's not old. Like 40 is still. I'm a young whippersnapper. I'm a tenderoni.
Okay.
Let me stop. But I mean,
you're a mature Roni.
Yeah, I'm tender and moisturized. Stop it! Don't play with me.
Well, you're not a tenderoni. You're a tough Roni now.
Whatever. I'm still a tenderoni. I'm forever a tenderoni.
Hard to chew.
Declared it. Whatever. This is tenders. I don't know what tenderized.
Okay.
Tenderized, Brony.
Whatever keeps you going, I support it.
Yeah. No, but I don't know. It's just it's still a lot of life left. You see this?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Look at your parents. Look at your aunts, your uncles. Look at
they're doing
the people around you. Compare not on a negative note, but compare yourselves to other people. I mean, your friends are doing their thing and living and take care of themselves or their kids. It's like people are living.
Yeah, I'm super proud of all of my friends. They're all very successful. And to me, like I feel like success is determined like by whatever you define it as. And also like maybe even more practically, if you're successful in like one or two areas that society deems as a status thing, like if you're married or if you're in a happy relationship or if you have children and your children are successful, or if you're financially successful, or if you have businesses and you're doing that, like I feel like that determines success, like if in one or two areas.
And that's what I need to work on there, because like even like
if you're healthy, that's success. You're mentally, physically, spiritually healthy. That's success.
Yeah. I'm just not there. I'm not there yet. Like I have a lot of regrets. No, I have a lot of. I'll say this.
You're super talented, though. You're talented.
I know, but I'm not. But I'm not getting paid by my talent, so that's not a success to me.
No,
I hear you.
No, but you can't define it that way.
I know, but I do though. I do though. That's what I'm saying. See, you're saying
that's not
you said like, yeah, that's on me. Yeah. So if I have, because I come from a generation of a lot of guys who I hung around a lot of talented people, and a lot of and the world will never know how talented these guys are. Some of them are alive, some of them are dead. And for me, it's like I'm trying to survive for the ones who passed away and the ones who just kind of gave up and did the righteous thing, took care of their families, or just flat out quit their craft. When I say craft, because that's how good they were at it was actual craft. And I feel like me moving out here was an ode to them to keep going. But as I get older and I'm still out here, I do not feel successful. I do feel a win for staying out here this long and living how I'm living, but I know I do not feel successful uh, having these so-called talents that I have, because I am not able to live off of my talents. Now, if I can do that like a Kevin Hart, or like who or like Bob Ross was, or and I can live off of my craft, then yes, I would feel successful. But no, I am not doing that. Not anything. I'm not
But
getting paid off
everything
of
takes
anything.
time. Yeah, everything takes
I
time.
know. And how much
And you
time though?
and you I don't know. I still don't have
You know
the
what I
answer
mean?
to
Like,
that.
am I going to be like 50 or 60, finally somebody
Maybe,
finally sees my work? Like,
maybe.
yes, I mean, I will embrace it, but to me, that would be like, damn, like, cause I'm thinking like this, dude. I'm like, I already have like body parts hurting. You know what I'm saying? I Wolverine my finger. You know what I'm saying? Like, my back hurts. I can't run I can't jog that much because of my back, and I have muscle aches and stuff. And I'm like, things are shutting down. What for like
You need to
a
stretch.
month
You
to
sound
six
like you
months.
need to stretch.
I do it every day. I do yoga. I lift weights, like light weights. I can't lift heavy weights anymore because my arm. You know what
You
I'm
drink
saying?
water?
Like,
You drink
I
water?
drink water. That's all I drink. That's
Yeah.
all I drink. This is the first time I've drunk a soda in like years.
Right,
You
exactly.
know
I
what I
don't
mean?
drink
So
water.
that's how I operate. But anyway, so like me being 50 to 60 and finally hit, I'm be like old and not being able to hold anything, or what I'm saying, like I might not be. I'm scared to. I won't be able to be consistent as I get older because of my old. Because I won't be able to. Like, I might get arthritis in my hand. I already have
Well, you know
an
what? You
elbow.
sound like you're
My
worried about
cartilage in my left elbow is breaking apart.
right, but you sound like you're worrying about things that haven't even happened and probably won't even happen. So, like, don't worry about it. Like, you just gotta keep living, and you'll see. I don't know. I really don't think you
Yeah,
can.
we don't know.
You
We don't
shouldn't
know.
compare. You shouldn't compare yourself to a Kevin Hart or whoever else you mentioned. You have to determine your own success. Like, and I think you're really hard on yourself with a
Well,
lot
I
of
just pick people who are successful at their craft.
right.
That's all.
Yeah, and I
That's
mean,
why I picked. That's why I picked. Because Kevin's good at comedy, I guess, and then Bob Ross was good. He was good at art. He was great at art. You know what I mean? So
yeah, I don't know. I haven't really figured that at 40, I still haven't figured that part of life out because, like, I've worked so hard to be in I don't know. I mean, I'm doing well. Like, as I look around, like, I'm doing great. But to be recognized as, really not radio, as a indie platform that showcases talent, as a photographer, videographer, as a producer,
yeah,
I definitely
yeah,
haven't
yeah. You're doing great financially because you have a 9 to 5, but
right.
you're not doing great at your creative level. You know what I'm saying? I am the same way. I am doing great at my a 9 to 5, but I don't want to be there. That's not what I'm here for. That's not why I came to LA. You know what I'm saying? I came to LA for the creative side of things, and it's not hitting. So I'm becoming a cliche. Like, so it's like, how old am I going to stay here? I remember I had a temp job one time, and I was working next to this old cat, and he had to be like 50, 60 years old at the time. And we were, um, somehow we got on a topic of writing scripts. And he was like, yeah, um, I just wrote this script, man, and I hope it hit. I just gave it to Paramount or something. I hope it hits. I have an agent, blah, blah, everything. This guy is like gray hair, no, gray, nose hairs coming out, nose, like, what I'm saying? Like a really old cat, but he was spunky and, what I'm saying, very, very optimistic, I will say. And but it looked like a face of delusion to me. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like 30 in my 30s, and I'm looking at this 60-year-old telling me that he has a script that he just got on the table of Paramount, and we don't know if it's gonna go down or not. You know what I'm saying? He's still hopeful, and he's like, "Yeah, I was just an extra on this commercial, and blah blah blah." I'm like, damn, like, you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
out here, it's all ages are still trying. I met a woman at a casting call. She said she was, I think we used her house to have like have a like a reading, a script reading, and she was telling me that you know, now that her kids are grown and moved out the house, she could really pursue her acting. And I was like, man, what, you know what I'm saying? Like it just don't stop at any age out here. It
It
just
doesn't.
doesn't stop.
It doesn't. But that's why you have to change your target and why you're doing it. You have to change your why, I think, because you know what I mean? Like
Well,
we
I
have
want to get paid for my craft, but you know what I'm saying? I don't want to just do this to have, I mean, okay. You tell me, like, or give me your opinion. Like I do the art for fun. I love it. I mean, I've been doing it since I was a kid. I came out of my mama's vagina with the pen and the pad. I'm like, what we drawing, mom? You know, I drew her clitoris when I came out of the womb, right? Okay, so and then I love music. I can't stop making music. You know what I'm saying? And then I love DJing. I love sharing music with people. I would do this for free. Okay, I
exactly
would do everything for free.
right.
But to stop waking up at 6 in the morning to work for somebody else, you know what I'm saying, would be fantastic because I am able to live off of my craft or crafts, you know what I'm saying, and make money off of that and be free and be more, you know what I mean, live like Paul Rubin or the Beatles or something, because all you have to do is wake up and make music and then put it out and people will listen to it, right? Or all you have to do is be like James Jean and paint like a picture of a whale and then he puts it out and everybody loves it, right? Like it would be great to live like that. You know what I'm saying? That is the goal. You know what I mean? Because I'm not I'm
I
not
hear
doing this to, well, I'll say this. I came out here for that reason.
right.
Other than if that wasn't the reason, I could have easily stayed in NorCal, probably got
No,
promoted at where I was, and
but
then I would have been miserable because I'm working for somebody else. And now I'm just miserable in Los Angeles, working for somebody else. But
I
now I have an upper hand because I'm here. But like my shit's not is
I
nowhere.
feel like you were at the top of the shit out here, Zach. You-
I feel that way too. And then I felt like
but
I could be that way out here, and it
right,
didn't pan out that way. So
yeah.
that
But at the
pressure
end of the
and
day, LA,
that defeat makes me feel like I am unsuccessful. You know what I'm
hmm,
saying?
yeah, but I don't want you to look at it that way.
Well,
Uh,
I
but
mean I
I hear you.
do.
I hear you. But LA is different.
I
LA,
know. I know that.
everybody in LA, I won't say everybody, but a lot of people in LA are just going through the motions
Yep.
and doing it. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? They're not necessarily getting paid either. They
Yep.
ain't getting paid. You know what I'm saying? So it's like everybody's out there doing the same shit that you was doing out here, but they're just doing it in LA and it's like
Yeah.
popping because it's LA and people
Yep.
see you out there doing this shit in LA. So they're like, ooh, you're doing it, LA, LA. But
Yeah.
it's really not anything that's securing anybody's future. You know what I'm saying? It's like we're all just playing music and playing entertainment. And there's some people out here that, are, making some bags or whatever you want to call it, getting to it.
A little
But
bit. Yeah.
like there is levels to it,
There's levels. Yeah.
but I don't know. I don't really, I wouldn't say you're a failure or you're unsuccessful. It's just what you're willing to tolerate and how long you're going to play the game and allow yourself to be manipulated
Well, I
out there.
will say this. I will say this. Like the DJing part, like I could have easily, and I do mean easily, have gotten a gig, but I would have had to play top 40 music. And
Right.
to me, that's not me. You know, that's not me.
I
So
don't,
that would have been a job. right? And I'm not trying to do a craft that I love and turn it into like a job,
Yeah.
because that would have been miserable for me.
Yeah, we all make the moves that we think are best. And I think once you get centered and you get balanced and you figure out what really makes you tick and what makes you happy, you'll find your way. Like you almost will like stumble upon wherever you're supposed to end up. And
So even with getting older, to go back on topic, I even come back to like, should I have done this in my 30s, or the first time I moved out here, should I have just stayed and stuck it out and lived in my car, and you know what I mean? Like, should I have done that? Because
I
now
mean
that
that
I
would have
did,
made for great stories, but
I know, but now that I've done it the second time and done it correctly, to as far as financially, I'm moving slower than I did the first time. You know what I mean? Because there was more fuel under the fire the first time. But
yeah,
now I'm
but
like, kind of comfortable. I got,
and then now that we have the pandemic, it's like we're really on slow motion. Like I feel like I was right before the pandemic started, I was going so hard, and then the pandemic hit and everything stopped. Everything.
but even with that, like,
So you,
I as a tech head, I should have took advantage of the live, the Twitch, the live IG,
everybody
you know
was
what I
doing
mean?
that. Yeah, everybody was
Not
doing
in the beginning though, like not in the beginning, like the first 6 months,
no.
until after that. Then DJs were buying up all the stuff because the adapters, and then you couldn't find any of the DJ adapters because all the assholes bought them all, and then whoever had them would sell them at double the price. So it's like you can't, you got to jump on the tip uh as soon as possible. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't do that. I got lazy. I've been lazy.
Yeah, well, if don't be lazy, because that doesn't, you gotta put, my one friend always would tell me you can't move a parked car. So you have to put stuff out into the universe. And once you do that, once you put stuff out into the universe, things start clicking, things start happening. Like you have to make it happen. You like
Yeah.
period.
What if you're making it happen and it ain't happening? Then what? How many people
Then you
out
have
here
to
when you were out here were making it happen and not happening?
yeah, everybody.
That's a lot, right?
Yeah,
It's probably 90% of the people who come out here, because LA is a revolving door, right? We all know that. How many people come out here to make it happen and it never happens?
a lot
And
of
then they
people.
got to go back home with a tail tucked between their legs, or
I didn't
or
I didn't
or
go back
they
home for the
or they stay
tail.
here drugged out, intense, because they're too prideful to go home. They're not going to take no for an answer, and they're going to keep going. You know how many times, like, I remember going to work, I was running under a bridge and I saw a woman with an easel under a bridge painting, because she lives in a tent and she's obviously an artist. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Or I go down the other street, this guy playing the guitar outside of his tent. These people refuse to leave, because they have this talent. You know what I'm saying? They came out here to do this thing, and they're never going to make it, and they won't go home, because either they don't have a home,
well,
whoops,
a lot of this
or
shit
they
it
don't
doesn't.
have a home, or they just refuse to quit.
Yeah, but a lot of
When
this
do you
shit
tell them to quit?
it doesn't have. It has nothing to do with talent, because I know so many talented people, you included, and we're not getting paid off of our passions, but I don't know. You just gotta
Yeah. So when
follow.
you get older, when does it stop or start? You know what I mean? Like, if you're a talented artist like Frida Kahlo, and you know it, and I know this, Frida's talented, but nobody sees it, and she puts it out. She's in galleries, and you know what I'm saying? Because let's be honest, it only takes one person to see your shit and be like, yo, this Frida's painting is the shit. This painting of a vagina on the forehead, this is great. You know what I'm saying? It takes one person with money to be like, yo, that's the one. You know what I'm saying? One person said, yo, Kevin, can you be in this movie? He said, yeah, I'll do it. You You know what I'm saying? And then now that started his whole career. It takes
Yeah.
one
Well,
fucking thing. Now, is that luck or is that talent?
it's luck, or it's just the right place at the right
Being in
time.
the right place at the right time.
It's
Yes.
fate, it's destiny.
It's,
It usually, if you listen to a lot of people's stories, it happens when they're just about to quit, and then something happens, like, and then they get their break. For me, a lot of my faith is in God. Like, I have no clue how any of this is gonna work out or pan out, but I've never been let down, and I've always enjoyed every phase of my life. And of course I'd want it differently, but I don't know. Like, I don't really, like, after being in LA, I wouldn't want to be in the music industry unless it was on my terms. So that's when I like left, and I was just like, this isn't good for my spirit. Like, you just figure out what you really want out of life, and then you pursue that. Like, you got to figure out what you really want out of life and then pursue it.
like
Period.
my favorite story is Keisha Cole's story, where she was like, she came to LA from the Bay. She only had like, I think she said $200 in her pocket or whatever, and then I think she's with her manager at the time or something, and then he figured out how to get attention from this other person at a record label. She sang for him or whatever. They met. She sang, and it was downhill from that. You know what I mean? Just her career still just avalanche from that. But how many people, other than her, came out here with $150, $20 in their pocket,
A lot.
and they still have $150 and $20 in their pocket, but they intense, or they live with 5 people in the studio out there in Burbank. You know what I mean? Like, just they're waitressing, they're waitering. You know what I mean? And they're taking little jobs here and there because they want to be actors, and they're talented.
Yeah, and the other side of it is LA is fun. So it's like, why not? Why not just be out there and pursue your passions? You know what I'm saying?
But that's another thing too. Like, but they're young. You know what I mean? Like, it's a young man's sport, right? So am I too old? Like, am I going to end up like the 60-year-old script writer, still hoping that one of his scripts are gonna hit? You know what I mean?
Well, I would say definitely, pursue other things as well. And then, because like, that for me, one of the big factors of me leaving Los Angeles, money wasn't coming how I wanted it to come, quick enough. And I saw that my family members were getting elder, and I was seeing what it takes to take care of people who are elder and the costs of that. And I was like, you know what? I need to think about the future, and I need to be stable. And like, I'm almost 40 years old, and I just need to get some other things in place. And I mean, I could always go back to LA. Like, now I'm pretty set, and maybe that might happen eventually once this pandemic's over. But I don't know. Like, you gotta make sure your future is secured, however you do that. And time will tick away, but you gotta secure your future. You can't wait on
But what do you mean by that?
you can't wait on your passion. You gotta be realistic too.
Yeah, yeah.
You have to be
But
realistic.
yeah, so when you get old, so like I said, it's a young man's sport. So like, when you're 20 and 30, you could fuck around, you could have a waiter job, you could live with
You
5
get
people.
loans. You could, get people to
Yeah,
pay.
but when you're like 40, 50 years old, you can't be like
Sleeping on
living.
couches.
You
I
can't be
mean,
sleeping
people
on
do.
couches and couch surfing, or living
Yeah.
with. You're like 40 years old, but you live with like a 20 and 30-year-old. Like, I mean, it happens out here. It happens a lot out here.
It
But
happens
it's like, excuse me, when are you gonna get out of that mentality? You know what I mean? Like that's what I'm saying. Like, as you get older, do you keep pursuing? Because obviously there's roles for elders, like 50, 60-year-old You know, it's every day, right? You can't hire a 20-year-old to play a 60-year-old. You know what I'm saying? Not enough. There's not enough makeup in the world for you to look like that. But like when do you quit? When do you quit your passion? Or do you quit your passion? Do you die pursuing your passion because you love it so much? You know what I'm saying? How many talented comedians are there out here who do, and I see it all the time, talented as fuck, but they just haven't had their break yet. And it'll take one agent to be like, yo, that kid's funny.
Yeah.
Let's put him in a movie. Let's put him in a TV show or whatever. You know what I'm saying? All these other cats here who aren't that funny are getting their own TV shows or breaks or whatever, or stand-up specials on Amazon or Netflix, because Netflix will pick up anybody. And the other cats over here, just because they got kids and they're trying to take care of their kids and maybe they have a 9 to 5 or something, but they're talented as fuck. Every time they get up there, they kill. But just because they have a 9 to 5 and they're doing it like that and they're taking care of their responsibilities, they won't get the break because the agent isn't there, because by the time the agent's there, that comedian has to go back to work, or he has to go home because he has to get ready for work the next morning. Mm-hmm. It's not cool. It's not fair. You know what I'm saying? What does he do? Does he do his own shit? Does he go fund his show? Does he go fund his, you know what I'm saying? Yes, of course, maybe. Does he have time? You know what I'm saying? Like, when do we get our break?
I have no idea.
And I am aware that it's reality and it's not fair. Life's not fair. I get that. I'm just saying, I'm just putting a rhetorical question out there. When do we stop?
Yeah, I don't know. I've seen so many people stop.
Me too.
I've seen so many people come and go.
Friends too, yeah.
Yeah, like I've witnessed it. And I don't know, like you just kind of know. Like I think if you're tapped in with yourself and you're tapped in with whatever your higher source is, or if it is self, then you tap into that and you do what you feel is right for that moment, and don't let anything else influence you. Like for me, I'm led by spirit, and so everything was just kind of leading towards not being in LA. Like it was time for me to go. And I'm glad I came home when I did, because I would have been pissed off if I was stuck out there in a pandemic. But I don't know. So like you
yeah, we don't know. That's the problem.
Yeah, you don't know.
The problem is we don't know.
You don't know, but like I said, you got to tap into whatever you get your leading from. Like whatever your rationale is, whatever you believe in, like that, you need to help you make a decision for what you want to do. It's a personal thing. You have to take time and listen and look into yourself, or look at God for answers, and he'll answer.
Well, for the non-religious people.
Yeah, for the non-religious people, then you would want to look at yourself.
Yes.
And what you've been guided by your whole life, then that's what you need to tap into or seek God.
Yeah. And myself says to keep doing what you love, because there's nothing like finishing an album, and there's nothing like discovering new music, and there's nothing like DJing live, and there's nothing like writing a good story or creating a new character out of a circle.
Well then, okay. Yeah, if that's what you decide, then you have to be intentional and you have to make it happen. You have to pursue it relentlessly and get out there and push it and get publicists, send it to everybody. Because my one friend, he's a filmmaker, and he ran into Jay-Z, and Jay-Z told him you have to be intentional. And ever since he told me that, like, I'm just like, that's so true. Like, everything you do, there has to be some intentions behind it. Like you can't just do something and then post it on SoundCloud and hope it goes viral, you know? Like
Yeah,
you,
and I don't do that, and I don't feel that way. I don't do that. I mean,
yeah,
I do that, but I don't feel like, oh, like it's gonna go viral. Like I don't
all right.
do
Like
it for
you
that. But
like
go ahead.
yeah, like you have to work. Like everything, like if you're not handed stuff, if you're not aren't connected to people,
Yeah,
then you just got to put that work out there and you have to be consistent with that work and
yeah.
then you're recognized. Cause like here's a great example. There's this one guy, he goes by La Russell right now, and he used to go by this guy named Tota Shakur, and he's been going and doing this for a while, and like name changes and everything. And I don't know, it's been like some time, some years. And he was just on the Breakfast Club this morning from Vallejo. So it's like, and he did, it was all organic. Like he'll tell you, it's independent hustle. And his flow, he kind of reminds me of like an Easy E in a sense, but he's talking about very like conscious, like positive stuff. But he has a big like, but he, you know what? He got some cosigns. And once you get those cosigns, that's when you take off.
Yeah, but cosigns from who?
Charlemagne the God,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
huge.
So he has cosigns from names.
Yeah, exactly. Like I
Yeah,
know
not
that.
not cosigns from your uncle.
Right. Yeah.
Cosigns from
But
Jay
even
Z.
then, but even then, like if you're friends, that's where like friends and support and family support comes in. Because if each
No,
one,
we already talked about that though.
I know, but if your family, like say you had, like I had this one video, it got shared several times, and like I don't know, it was a lot. But if I just had that happen with every video that I've ever posted, like I'm sure I could have been on by now. But I don't know how to get people to engage and to do that. But it's really easy to go viral. Like if you get 16 shares, you can go viral. It's
You
easy.
gotta do, yeah, you gotta have a Doja Cat moment. You gotta have a Doja Cat move moment. Once you do that, people will go back to your old shit, right? So
Yeah.
maybe if
Like,
you
like
did, maybe if you did like a video for like some like, maybe if you did like a compilation for Mozzie or something, like a dedication to E40 or some shit, and it'll go, or the Thiz movement back then, like a short little video for Thiz or whatever.
yeah.
People will catch that in Bay Area and it'll go viral.
Yeah, what's crazy is my most played playlist, I still get likes, and it's from like, I don't know, 10 years ago. And it was a Bay Area playlist. It went viral. So that's all I'm saying. It's like you don't know what goes viral and what people will like. You just gotta continue to put stuff out there, and hopefully the right people get to it. And if not, then you have to force people to watch it and to get to it. And then if that doesn't work, I don't know. You just
What you mean by force?
hmm?
What do you mean by force? Like you stick their head, you go to every house and you stick their head into your phone and make them watch your video. What are you talking about? What do you
Yeah.
mean force?
Basically, you gotta just keep
Nobody got time for that.
you gotta keep putting it out there.
Yeah,
Seriously.
of course. Yes. You mean you got to be consistent with your craft. You got to be
Yeah.
consistent with the output.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
And like when I was doing a lot of the videos out in LA, I didn't have press passes and I didn't have, people like showing me how to do all that stuff. Like now I know how to do it, but I just went to the shows and I had my camera and I just recorded. And I just got out there, and that really helped. Like I think that put me on with a lot of people on the underground. Um, so like I said, you gotta force people to pay attention to you. And you'll get looks eventually, but you have to definitely be consistent. So I don't know, but I don't have the answers to that at 40 years old. I still don't know when you quit or when you stop or when you keep going, or I don't know. Because if I had
I
the answer,
mean,
I would have been on for sure.
yeah, for sure. I mean, nobody has I don't think anybody's has the answer, Sway, but I mean, it's just good to like vent it out and talk it out, and everybody, when you get older, just analyze, your life and what you I guess determine what's important and what's priority and what's not, and then go from there. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Because I'm sick of being what do you call it? Um, what do you call it? Like the master of none,
Oh, jack of all trades.
jack of all trades, but a masters of none.
Yeah,
You
I know
know
people.
what I mean?
Yeah, people always. I remember I used to hear all the time, do one thing and just pursue that one thing.
Yeah,
Okay, well maybe that's where I messed up.
yeah. Because the best example is Kanye. Because Kanye went to art school, and he was a good artist, but he discovered music along the way, and he chose to do music.
Yeah,
So after he made that choice and he went all in, now he's able to do clothes now, which is art, which is creative, which is artsy, because his art, his shoes
but
are
I think
weird as fuck.
that's why I think you just got to keep doing stuff until one of the things pops off, and then you can do all the things. Like you have to just,
I mean, you have to focus on one thing and then hope that hits. See, that's hard because, okay, take me for instance. I know we're going long here, but take me. I love DJing, but I love drawing. But then I love making music. I
you're a
love it.
great illustrator. You're a
Yeah,
bomb.
I love all three of these things. All three of these things are like outlets to me. And you know what I mean? So it's like I can't not DJ, but I cannot not draw. I just cannot not stop drawing. Like
Right,
it's innate. And I cannot not get on the keyboard and diddle something.
right.
I can't. There's not a day where I don't think about a melody. It's impossible. So for
Yeah,
me to be like, I'm gonna go all in into music, I can't not draw.
I know, because your drawings, I love your drawings and your illustrations and your graphics.
It's so hard to pick one thing,
Yeah, that's why I
and
don't
and
know.
that's
Like
my downfall to me.
I hear you, because that's why I haven't. I don't know. Maybe that's why like I said, I haven't made it, because I do a lot of different things because I love doing a lot of different things. And so I don't know. I really don't have any answers in that area. Well, maybe we'll figure it out as we continue in these different.
As we get older, maybe
Yeah,
we'll figure it out.
yeah, exactly. I don't know. Like that's the whole cool thing about life. Like it really is a journey. It's an
Well,
adventure.
that
And
part's not cool to me. This part's not cool to
what
me.
the transition, like I feel like it's constant transitions and figuring out until it happens, and then it
No,
happens.
I wish I had one thing I was into. Like my friend Osh, he just likes playing guitar. He is great on guitar. I wish I just had one thing I loved and I could just focus on that. Like I'm all in on that. Like I have 3, 4, 5 things I love. Like I love, and I think that's my downfall. I
Well,
think
then
that is a downfall.
how about we pick one thing for this next year? Pick one thing and pursue that. That's it. You could come back if whatever doesn't work out, come back to your other things. But pick one thing and pursue that for the year. How about that? How about them apples?
It's a good idea, I guess.
Oh, you're acting funny. I'm serious. Like
Because I'm scared that
but look
I'm
how
going.
fast years go by. Look how fast years go by. Like one
I know
year.
that's true. And then like on the road I have been going obviously has not been successful. So why not try something new? Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. You want different results. You gotta
change.
something.
Yeah.
You feel me? You feel me? And like every year you should feel like you're growing. And that, that's a real thing too. In some area.
I mean, it's really hard to choose. I mean, might as well just like roll the dice on that one.
Literally.
Kind of like eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Yeah.
Yeah, do that. If you can't decide, leave it up to chance. Yeah, this is a heavy conversation. I didn't even think was gonna go this far. What is this? 3 hours? This is a 3-hour episode. But anyways, we better cut it short. We better let it go. We'll revisit this topic because this is an ongoing thing for all creatives. But this is what happens, I think, in the 40s too. You kind of like got to make these tough decisions and transition again. Life is all about transitioning, improving, learning, growing, cutting things off to add what you really want. That's what I'm finding. You cut things off to gain peace. And for me, that's what guides me, is what gives me peace and what's going to grow my spirit. And I just follow that. Boom.
Boom.
So, well, this concludes this episode. And when you get 40, you get sleepy. And you can, especially if you have a drink in you, you're ready to go to bed about 10:30, 11.
That's why I don't drink wine, because if I drink wine, a glass of wine, I'm out. I'm gone.
You're gonna be like this on screen.
I'm gone. Yeah, I'll be gone in 10 minutes. Yeah.
Seriously. So, all right, friend. Well, we'll talk.
Right.
We'll talk soon, everyone.
Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching Non-Perishable Goods.